So let's start with this video with Kamala and Tim Walz, and we shall proceed from there. Make sure y'all got it. Nah, y'all know I like to be over here. I need to be in my spot.
Everyone, good afternoon, everyone. To everyone who's on the call, I can't express my deep gratitude to you. Personally, of being on this ticket was the privilege of a lifetime to be with Vice President Harris. But as an American, to see you out there and to see the work that you did, to know that you put your heart, your soul, your time, your talent, your treasure into something bigger than yourselves, the promise of this country, a place where everyone belongs, where no one needs to go hungry or be unsheltered, and where differences of opinion can be celebrated and differences of ideas. And you put that out there and you worked hard for it. And for that, I am forever grateful. I also recognize the emotions you're going through. And I share those with you. As the vice president often says, we weren't running against something, we were running for something. And to watch the joy, the vision, the compassion, the decency that the vice president brought to this, and that each and every one of you reflected every place we went, the caring and the sense of joy. I know it's incredibly disappointing now. And look, candidly, it's a bit scary because there's a very different vision that's being put out there. But now
they just can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves. This just shows how extremely out of touch these people are, their teams are, and the people in their bubble are. The only things that are scaring people right now are the border crisis and these wars that we may be involved in, and the amount of money that we're paying when we go to the grocery store. Those are the things that actually scare people. He does not even realize, like, they're not even in touch enough to understand that Donald Trump is securing a lot of relationships that people did not think that he would have. Mark Zuckerberg kicked him off of his Meta platform. They had a very tumultuous relationship. And now Mark Zuckerberg is getting invited by Donald Trump to go down to Mar-a-Lago to talk to him, to figure out ways to solve problems. Donald Trump, the reason why a lot of these politicians are scared of Donald Trump and have to do all this fear mongering, in my opinion, is because Donald Trump just went from he just figured out politics, I think, in that first time that he was president. And then these last 4 years that he hasn't been president, I think they opened up, or maybe were enlightening a little bit for him. Maybe he had a couple epiphanies where he started to realize how a lot of this political garbage works. They are not solving problems. They are creating problems and highlighting those problems in a lot of ways just to have something to run on. The same things that Kamala Harris was accusing Donald Trump of. Donald Trump is straight solution based right now for the people. When you look at what RFK Jr. is going to do with the FDA, when you look at all of his picks from Tom Homan, Pete Hegseth, who's the head of the NIH that we're going to discuss a little bit later. What's his name? Hold on. Jay Bhattacharya. When you look at who we just, Malarkey, I believe his name was, he's going to serve in the cabinet. When you look at all these people that he's appointing, these are people that go against the establishment and that stand for the people. The things that the people would say. Tim Walz is so out of touch, and it has showed up in the election. It showed up in the election with the Democrats. They are so out of touch. They don't really understand what the people want. He doesn't understand that the scariest thing, like, we can't wait till Trump gets back in office. People cannot wait until Trump gets back in office. And he thinks that like, it's delusional. Here he thinks that the majority of the people in the country are sharing the same views that he's sharing. We were scared of you. Let's keep going.
More than ever, we need the light to shine through. We need to be able to be that hope for the neighbor who's really wondering. We need to be that anchor for the folks who are wondering what's next. And each of you did the work. You took time out of your busy lives and you continued to do it. And it makes a difference. On the campaign trail, I would ask, there will be a day of reckoning when it will be asked, what did you do during the 2024 campaign? Well, I know the people on this call can say everything they possibly could. And for that, as an American, I'm incredibly grateful. And
I do agree with him from that standpoint that 2024 will be one of those elections that a lot of people look back on. And I think people are going to, it's going to be a thing where, which way did you lean? What were your thoughts on it before the election? What were your thoughts on after the election? And then obviously during the presidency from 2024 to 2028 of Donald Trump, what does that look like? What things were able to change? Were we able to get out of these wars? Were we able to create a solution that makes sense for the border? What happened with a lot of these people that came in that now have to be deported? Like, all these questions are going to be answered. This is going to be a very, this is going to be a time in history. And I know we say it every time, right? This is the most important time in history. Now is always the most important time, right? Okay, we understand that. But it just seems like there's a shift happening. And it seems that if this shift did not happen, and I'm talking about this Donald Trump shift, it seems as if we would have been going, it's like, you know how you can kind of go too far one direction to where it's like we're not even going to be able to turn back? That's what it really seemed like. I think a lot of people feel that Donald Trump and the people that he brought on board are saving us from something. And maybe it was good that Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden in 2020, because if he would have just ran for another 4 years, I don't think people would have been able to open up enough to even start to appreciate the things that he actually may do well, the benefits that come from him. Obviously, there's going to be pros and cons with any candidate, right? But I think that him not being president in 2020 and having just 8 years, but him leaving the office, it allowed us to kind of see where it's like, okay, y'all can't blame Trump anymore. Now you got to actually do the things that you said you were going to do. Now we can actually compare 4 years of Trump to 4 years of Biden. We can actually see those things. So therefore, it opens us up to even understand it, to even give us a chance of seeing the pros that come with a guy like Trump. And the momentum, in my opinion, just built on from there. We saw how the Democrats seem to be using the justice system to attack Trump, because it's like, damn, like, y'all are that scared of Trump? Like, y'all coming after him with everything. And then it just added to Trump's aura, where every time he was just able to overcome and overcome. So let's keep going.
And I mentioned that just yesterday, the product of the things the vice president fought for and the things that she got done, we had the final pot of money from the American Rescue Plan that we were able to put $5 million here in Minnesota into food assistance for hungry families during this holiday season. That's the type of stuff you were fighting.
Well, they're definitely going to have to address some money issues, because I believe later on in this interview, or later on in this, whatever you want to call it, later on in these remarks, the remarks made by Kamala, she's bragging about how much money her and Tim Walz were able to raise. Another out of touch moment, in my opinion. But they're going to have to explain how you can raise $1.5 billion and not properly spend it. You go into debt, you can't pay your campaign staff. And I think more and more stuff is going to come out that just highlights and maybe opens our eyes up to understand the decision that we perhaps could have been making, and that maybe we dodged the bullet.
Fighting for. That's the type of things that make a difference. And those things are just as important now as they were before Election Day. And so I hope all of you take care of yourselves, take care of your families, find the place in your community to heal both yourselves and your community. And then when you're ready to get back in this fight, because it continues on. And I know that I've said it often on the campaign trail, I'm preaching to the choir. I couldn't be prouder to be with a choir that's on this call. You did everything that was asked. I also would have to say, I think all of us saw the possibility. And I know there's a bit of a feeling of loss, because we saw what a real leader looks like. We watched a speech on the Ellipse the week before the election where Vice President Harris delivered on the best of America. She delivered the best of our better angels. She delivered a vision where all of us mattered. She did it with grace and dignity, and continued to do that every single day. She is still in this fight. She is doing it every single day. She is not done with her current job, and she's not done being part of it with all of you. And as I said, personally, it was a privilege to be on this ticket. It was a personal.
He just, like, damn, like the Glosson, like, is that what is it called? He just, well, we see why he was brought on to be her vice president, because he just will never do anything, say anything to overshadow her. So I guess he deserves some praise for that. He definitely plays his position because he just celebrates and celebrates Kamala Harris. Like, I mean, I guess she did put him in a position for a lot of people who did not know who he was and his family. Now I guess he's a significant name in politics, perhaps. I don't know. I guess she gave him the chance. So I get it.
Privileged to be able to become friends with an incredible leader, which someone who was willing to take on some of the toughest fights and continues to do so. And I would just ask all of you to join me in welcoming our Vice President, Kamala Harris.
It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.